Hi, this is Priya Russell, and this is my CTRI application video to PATH. This is my rider, Faith, and my horse, Aspen. We're going to start off by checking to make sure that his girth is tight. I'm going to pull down your stirrup on this side, Faith, and I'm going to make sure that nothing is twisted here in his bridle and nothing's too loose or too tight. I'm going to pull down this stirrup as well and make sure that it's set up correctly so you don't put your foot in the wrong. Right, so when you're ready, you can come over to the mounting block. Good, you can well. And have Karen go over by the right stirrup. Faith, when you're ready, you can stick your reins over Aspen's head and go up the steps. Good. So you have your reins in your left hand and your right hand on the cantle. You're going to stick your left foot up, and you're going to swing your right leg over and gently put it down on the other side and put your stirrup in. Good. And when you're ready, you can walk up a little bit past M. I'm going to check your that your tack didn't shift as you got on. Yeah. So when you're ready, we're going to give him a squeeze with both legs and tell him to walk on. And we're going to start off with a warm-up. So when we do a warm-up, we should always do one in the beginning of every lesson, or even if you're just going to ride your horse, you should also just give them time to warm up. So we usually do this to make sure that you and the horse are in tune together, and it helps you warm up your muscles and also Aspen's muscles, and it helps him move with you. While we're in this warm-up, we're going to talk about two different things that we're going to do during our pattern. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to practice something called bending, which is the way that your horse turns when he's going through corners and around circles. So when you're bending, you want to make sure that you have your horse's eye to the inside, and also you're putting that same inside leg on his around his girth area. So I'm going to let you go and do a walk around the full arena, and in these corners you can practice bending. So you can get him a little bit more forward by giving him a squeeze with both legs, because you want to get him a little bit more ahead of your leg. Good. I want to make sure he knows that we're working. Good. And as you come around this corner, you can bring your right rein a little bit to your hip and push your right leg on. When we bend, we want to make sure that it's not just his neck that's turning, but also his rib cage. So your hand is going to control his neck movement, and your leg is going to control his hindquarters and his like ribs and how they move around your body. Give him a little bit more of a squeeze. Tell him to walk on. And as you come across towards M, we're going to come across the half diagonal, and we're going to change directions. And we're going to talk about our next activity for that we're going to include in our pattern. Good. Make sure he's going straight. So bring your right rein a little bit towards your hip. Good. And so that the next thing that we're going to work on is something called half halting, which is something that we do in order for our horses to, in order for us to tell our horses that we want to either change to a different lower gait, or we want to make sure that we're not, and when we come down to the gate, we want to make sure that we aren't just stopping completely and we're giving them a little bit of a tug to make sure that he's not going to just go back from like a canter to a walk. So when you do this, you're going to tighten, you're going to make sure that he's going a little bit more ahead of your leg and in a extended, more of an extended walk. And you're going to do the half halt, you're going to tighten your core and you're going to squeeze with your reins a little bit and tell him to go to like a slower walk. Yep, it looks good. And then release the pressure and let him walk forward again. Good. We can try this also at a trot, so you can go up when you're ready to give him a squeeze with both legs. Good, and you're on the right diagonal, and you're gonna tell him to go a little bit more forward, and we're gonna give him a little bit of a half halt. So you can squeeze with your reins and tighten your core a little bit and tell him to slow. Yep, that looks good. And then a release. You're good. You release the pressure. When you get over to around this corner, we're going to do practice a sitting trot across the diagonal. So you can start now, sit down into your tack, push down into your heels, and tighten your core a little bit to slow the motion of your where your hips are. Good. And when you're up there, we can go up to the canter in this direction. So you're going to bring his eye to the inside with your right rein, and you're going to bring your left leg back and tell him to canter. And if you don't, you got it. Good. And you're on the right lead there. So you can bring him down by giving him that half halt again. squeeze with your reins a little bit, yep. And post with his motion. When you get up to that corner up there, we're gonna make a, you get to F, you can make a half circle and change of direction. And we're gonna canter in the other direction. Good, pull that rein back with your right rein back. Good, and keeping him marching forward. With that. All right, so when you're ready, you can take him up to the trot by squeezing with both legs, releasing a little bit of the pressure in your reins. Yep. And then you can sit and tell him to canter by bringing his left eye to the inside. Good. And we're going to just canter up this long side, following the motion of his gait. And you're on the right lead. So you're going to squeeze with both reins and tell him to slow down back to the trot. Good. And we can walk. You can give him a little bit of a looser rein here, and we're just going to go around once before we start the pattern. So we're going to go around here, and then we're going to cut through the center and start the pattern. But you can give him a little bit of a break by loosening your reins a little bit, just because it's hot out. And we're giving him a lot of work. Good, you can start pulling with your left rein and looking towards your new direction. And are you ready to start the pattern? Yeah. Okay. So you can tighten your reins a little bit more and tell him that we're going to get ready to work again. Good. And then when as you approach A, we're going to halt. So you're going to sit up tall, bring your reins back towards your hips until he woos, and then you can release the pressure. And then tell him to walk on by squeezing with both legs. Good. And as you come through this corner, you want to make sure his right eye is turned to the inside, and you're pushing your right leg on. As you approach, when we get to E, we're gonna go up to our trot. Good. And the first thing that you're gonna look for as you get your this nice rhythm is if you're on the correct diagonal, which you are, and we're gonna come across this diagonal MXK, changing your diagonal in the center of the arena, since we're going in the opposite direction now. Good. So now you're posting with the right front leg. Bringing your left shoulder back, bending through that corner. Bring his left eye a little bit more to the inside. You're going to sit at F, and you're going to come across this diagonal at a sitting trot. Good, relaxing down into those heels and tightening your core so your pelvis stays in a neutral position. And going straight to your letter. When you get to the corner, you can bring his eye to the inside and tell him to canter. Good. And you're on the right lead there. When you're ready, you're going to give him a little bit of a half halt by squeezing with your reins and telling him to trot. Good. And we're going to do a 2-loop serpentine. So you're going to come and change your direction by coming across the center line. And you're bringing your right rein, yep. And then you're going to bring your left rein back and changing your posting diagonal and changing your bend to our new way. So when you're ready, we're going to canter in this direction by bringing his eyes, looks good there. You're going to bring your right leg back, which you did. Good, and give him a half halt, and we're going to just sit the trot here, and we're going to make a 20-meter circle up there at A. Bringing his eye to the inside and bringing your left shoulder back and pushing with that left leg so his hindquarters go in and follow the circle. Good. Your position at the sitting trot here looks much better than it did earlier. And when you're ready, you can tell him to walk by pulling with both your reins, relaxing in your seat. And you can bring him into the center, and we're going to do a rein back. So you're going to pull back with both reins, and he's going to be, his legs are going to go in diagonal pairs. So you're going to go 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Yep. And then release the pressure in your reins and let him go forward. And then tell him to whoa. Okay. Good job. Both you and Aspen did good. You can dismount by taking both your stirrups, your feet out of the stirrups, and you're gonna still hold with that left hand to make sure he doesn't go anywhere, but you're gonna bring your right leg over. Yep, and slowly bring yourself down to the ground. And this concludes my application video.